tell me, which schools in Queensland have been identified as being at risk of a terrorist attack?
Patrick, I'm not keen to go into the individual schools. Not all school communities are comfortable in talking about it. And look, if they wanted to identify themselves, we wouldn't have a concern about that. But I need to respect the wishes of some school communities not to come forward. So look, there is 2 schools in Queensland. You're right, it's part of the 54 schools that we're providing some of this funding to around the country, which is part of a wider $18 million commitment that we made prior to the last election to work with school communities to do all we can to create a safe environment for students.
So effectively, it's not new. You're just honouring an election promise.
Well, that's right. Yeah, we're honouring an election commitment that we made in 2013 to make sure that we could work with school communities to do everything we can to ensure that kids going to that school are going to school within a safe environment.
So, if it's, I don't understand then why it's such a big deal. If it's had these schools been targeted previously?
Look, it depends on the individual school. There's 54 schools that we've been funding. Some of them, they would all have their own individual story, but these are schools that we've identified of having a slightly higher risk of harassment or violence. There's no specific information we have that makes us worried about these 2 schools in Queensland. There's no specific information we have that makes us worry about any of the 54 schools around the country. It's just a sensible approach to schools that we've identified that have a slightly higher risk profile.
The state government supports any measures by the federal government when it comes to combating terrorism. Can I assure parents today that we are not aware of any specific threat to any school in Queensland? What does concern me is that the first that parents learnt about this was on the front page of the Courier Mail. Given this is such a serious issue, you'd think that Minister Keenan could have easily just picked up the phone. Neither Education Queensland or Independent Schools Queensland have been advised of this latest development. Minister Keenan can simply pick up the phone and talk to Queensland schools about this latest announcement from the Abbott government.